be motherfucking.
I'm not on no fuck shit today. What? Where's the alarm? Is there a car alarm? I feel like I hear everything.
Yeah, I heard.
Did JC just open the front door? What happened?
I heard JC.
What?
Oh, wait, I did have a
Buckle up, quarters. Oh,
We filming already?
Oh, we've been filming.
Are we filming?
Oh. Whoops.
I mean, we've been
How do I tighten
filming.
this?
We've been filming. We've been recording and things.
Wait, I gotta find this.
Wait, I gotta find this.
Oh, I'm sitting on the leg.
It's going to sleep and shit.
What?
Yeah, we just got here. Why is your legs falling asleep already?
Well, I've been sitting on top of it, so that's probably why.
Wait, I should have found this earlier. It's like I literally hear everything.
Why is my nose running? Do you hear my nose running?
Yes, I do.
Oh shit! Did you hear that?
Now that's so nasty.
It's like I just heard it go back inside. I heard like
I don't know why my nose is ringing. I didn't even eat chili. I didn't have anything spicy.
It was like a thick viscosity liquid just went inside your nose.
Probably.
Quickly.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to find this meme because it was good, and I was like, "This is what we're gonna talk about."
Oh.
Briefly.
You need to favorite your memes.
I need to figure this out because I literally have all my pictures, memes. Everything's just like here.
I had to create an album for my memes.
That. Hold on.
But then what sucks is when you get a lot of memes, you still have an album full of a lot of memes.
And
like,
then you still have to go through.
Like, I wish that your photo
memes.
album worked like Google worked. You could just be like, search cat memes, and it like searched your gallery, and it, you know, like, is there an app for that? That would be a great idea.
Is there, Tracy?
Search screenshots of text messages. Like, wouldn't that be
like some
amazing?
private eye type shit.
Right. Okay. So I guess I'll just talk about what it said. It said.
Can't we just search it?
Yeah, like, can you
It was
describe?
so good. That's what I'm trying to do. Hold on.
It was so good.
Let me see.
Like in Google, put
And then I'm trying to
meme.
like, okay, I know I saw it before this meme, but after this meme. So I'm like, I'm trying to.
That's how y'all do detective work. Yeah, see,
No.
See, he liked this picture of her before he liked that picture of her.
No. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, I just watched the what was it?
Don't let anyone tell you you're ugly. You are, but don't let anyone tell you.
Right, like just understand that that's you.
Tomorrow is not promised to be a hoe today. I don't know why that's saved here, but you know, just in case I need
To tell somebody to be a hoe.
Yeah, you never know.
I don't know. Yeah,
Your hoe tendencies are acceptable. Be a hoe today, because tomorrow is not promised.
like why do tomorrow what you could do today?
Bro, I can't find it. And I literally had it to where I could. Oh, okay. Got it. It looked different.
What? Did it change?
What it was in your album?
The font that I was looking for, it wasn't in that font. It was a different font. Okay. So it says, I was toxic to some and a blessings to others. I'm willing to admit I wasn't always in the right. So I was thinking, like, was there ever a time where I was like really toxic to someone, or someone can say like, damn, Stacey like fucked me up? Can I say that? I don't know. I was thinking about it. Have you ever been like a toxic person, like the toxic person in someone's life? And you're willing to be like, I did that.
That's deep.
Is that
Kinda.
the same thing as being an enabler? Like,
No.
or do you have to be the general, like the main toxic?
Being an enabler can be a part of it, right?
Yeah, to an extent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just thinking about that. Like, have I ever, like, who could, I know that, like, there's probably men out there, or a lot of my exes that are like, oh yeah, she's crazy or this or that, but for their own reasons, not because of something I personally did. But now I was trying to think, like, was there something that I may have done to been like, she really, like, fucked me over?
I think everybody thinks about that, especially depending on what you just did, right? So it's like,
after I saw the meme.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I've thought about it. Anytime you have like an introspective moment, it's possible to get into your bag of what ifs, right? Your bag of what ifs, or what did I do wrong, or what could I have done differently, or is it my fault? Like, you can get into those different situations, right? And like, I've had a different conversation with my dad all the time, because it's really good to have an outside source that knows who you are, that can help. Because see, you need somebody that's removed from you, that knows you, that can provide perspective on you, that's unbiased, right?
Yeah.
A parent's perspective can be biased, but in certain situations it's good to have it. So it's like, you can ask those questions, but some of those I will put it towards somebody that I know knows me.
So, have you ever been the genuinely toxic person in somebody else's life?
No, not me. Sorry, it's hard.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah.
Like, out of every, because there's like that one relationship you think of, you're like, man, that person fucked me up. But
right.
I honestly don't think I've ever
been that person.
Yeah.
Like, I've been an enabler. Like I was telling Chase, like, I've enabled somebody or maybe helped them with their bad behavior, but I've never actually like made somebody into a bad person or like done nothing like that.
I don't think that I have. There's one that's like popping in my mind right now, but I was like,
that's his motherfucking thought.
No, I don't. It's more so this enabler thing. Like, I enabled him, and I might have emasculated to a certain extent.
Damn.
But
yeah,
I don't feel like it was to the point to where he's gonna be like, yes, Stacy fucked me up, and Stacy was super toxic in my life. Like, I don't think it was like to that extent.
And I feel like you can maybe tell if that was the case, if like maybe the relationship ended, and if you were to think about where they are now, like, did they go up or did they go down? Like, to see if maybe how badly you quote unquote did affect them, if at all. If you're having that question in your mind.
I agree with that, but I feel like that could still be a cop out, right? Because you may have affected them in a way still. But they had to like do double as hard to get over that issue. If you did do that, you know what I'm saying? Just because they're doing great now doesn't mean they didn't have a period of issue.
Because I feel like I've been with somebody before to where we were like at the same level. We were maybe like, I feel like he was more toxic than I was, but it just wasn't a good relationship. And we had the same opportunities, the same time frame to get over it, like the same everything. And if you look at where he's at and then where I'm at today, I'm like here and he's like kind of still where I left him. So I kind of just feel like,
but there's also, you never know what the next 5 years will bring, or 10 years, or you never know how that'll play out. But yep. Yeah.
So yeah, you're in a moment. In other words, everything is like on this timeline, right? So you're at this moment in a timeline. You can negatively or positively affect that person's timeline, right? You're affecting each other's timeline. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he may have came up, but he was so far down it took him more longer to get up. But you only what do you normally get to see in his changes, right? A lot of times, all we get to see once again is like social media, this, that, and the other. So if you didn't see it on social media, you don't know what happened, and all of a sudden you see a come up. And like, oh, he's doing great. That's the last time you thought of him since the last thing that you saw. You don't know what he went through in that period of time.
Yep.
That was too serious for the beginning of this podcast.
I know, my bad. I know it was gonna get that deep. I'm Stay Sorry.
Jessica Lola. Just pick your name.
I'm
currently
King Callenp.
All right, and we are Houston. I'm just saying.
But they want me to say it.
I feel like we should have coordinated that a little better. We should have coordinated it a little better.
Let me come in for the beginning.
You see why I just be like...
There has to be like a hand signal, like, say it.
Do like spirit
Houston.
fingers. Houston. I'm just saying.
Yes. Is that going to be the beginning now?
That was great. Houston. God damn it. All right, so
that will be in the
wrist
beginning.
action
in
in there.
some way, it'll be in the beginning.
Okay. And can you put little sparkles?
Can you do that, Chase? Can you
I'm not
put
putting fucking sparkles. Okay.
Oh. Okay.
All right. So today we're talking about the differences between our 20s and our 30s.
That was actually a good segue into that then, because like, you know, we're in our 30s now, all of us officially.
And we'd be more aware of our toxic behavior now than we would have been maybe in our 20s.
We're a little bit more wiser, maybe.
Why y'all looking at me like
I don't know.
Because you're right here looking back at us.
like I'm the judge of this shit? Like,
Say something. Goddamn.
I definitely believe that, and no, I believe that for sure. I think that I'm more aware of my actions and what it could possibly do. So yeah, I think we are more aware, but a lot of people, man, they not.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's important, but it's like you could. Oh man, it's so many ways to cut it. But yeah, that's my answer to that right now. Let's just go deeper later.
He's more wiser.
He's more wiser.
Great.
All right, so differences between 20s and 30s. What are some of the things that you ate in your 20s that you can no longer eat in your 30s? Or vice versa? Because that happens too. Like your taste buds change and mature as you mature. Yeah. Because like before I used to hate sour cream and then I really liked sour cream. And now I just don't eat it at all.
I do feel like sour cream for old people. I ain't
No.
lie.
Oh my God. I used to love sour cream. That was like one of my favorite things.
I don't eat sour cream at all.
Y'all are crazy.
Yeah. No.
What about like...
I'm good on that.
So did you like pizza rolls in your 20s?
Has this been an ongoing trend? Is this new for you?
It is part of my childhood. You know, okay, sorry. You know what everybody liked in their childhood was bagel bites.
Bagel bites were
I hate
delish.
bagel bites.
Yeah.
I never liked bagel bites. Never got on with bagel
I
bites.
feel you on that.
But pizza
I like
rolls
bagel bites.
are the shit.
Ranch.
Well, no. It's not that bagel bites are horrible. I need more. Y'all not giving me enough for what I'm spending. Like pizza rolls, they give you a nice amount.
Yeah, it's
Right,
like $8 and you get like 2 little trays of bagel bites. It's ridiculous.
Trays of,
But I mean, okay, so like the difference probably like that I would notice, like I have this one specific memory where I would call Cherie on before I got home and I'm like, what do you want from McDonald's? And then we get like 3 McChickens,
Hot and
nuggets,
spicy,
hot
some
and spicy.
fries.
Yes, French fries,
Yeah.
cheeseburgers, and then you go home and you eat it, and that would be your dinner. If I were to do that right now, I would, yes.
Stuck.
I would have dysentery for a week. I would throw up. It would be so terrible. Put on like 40 pounds. So I feel like for me, the difference between what I can eat now and whatever is just that now I want to be more aware of what I'm eating and what goes into my food and how much I should be eating of it, how it makes me feel.
You know what's depressing as fuck? When you look at the serving sizes. Like I didn't know 3 Oreos was a serving. Like,
You just eating Oreo. You thought what you ate was a serving.
the row of Oreo. That's 2 servings.
Fuck that. I thought a serving was how many I wanted.
Yes. Chase wants 8. That's 1 serving.
I was like, oh, I could eat 17 and it's only 200 calories.
I was definitely the kid that ate, like, we'll go to a dollar store and you can get the Reese's, like the Reese's trays. Oh yeah,
The Reese's tray?
Yeah, like this it'll be a tray of the Reese's cups
For $1?
for $1.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is
Like actual Reese's brand.
Reese's
At the dollar
It's not a
store for
game.
$1.
It wasn't a peanut butter cup. it was the Reese's for $1. Okay. And I ate 2 trays of that shit. I couldn't eat peanut butter for like a month.
Oh.
I got so sick. I was young.
And then, I mean, when you do start to get older, it's like, and then I think a part of it too has to do with my son because he'll say like really morbid shit like, you're closer to dying today than you were yesterday.
See,
and I'm
you gotta
like,
watch him.
fuck, I need to like pay attention to what I'm eating.
What you don't know is you got a whole plan.
Well, and you know what I was thinking about? Sorry, as
down.
we were getting this fruit stuff today. So like, no, I'm sorry. I'm just saying, like,
Because we're super healthy.
yes. Well, I wanted to buy this fruit, and one of those fruits were $5. But like, and then you go to HEB, like I was telling y'all, and you want a tray of watermelon, it's like $12 for a pieces of cut. Like, why is the stuff that we're supposed to be eating healthier just not more affordable to actually purchase?
And here's the thing, the stuff that we're supposed to eat that's healthier, and we're like, oh my gosh, we're eating this, it's so healthy. In reality, I mean, a lot of it isn't. Who did I ask? I've been asking this regularly because you know how we have like seedless fruit and all of that, and it's like all of that stuff is man-made, like the fruit, because fruits are supposed to have seeds. So all this stuff it's for our convenience, and it has all these like pesticides and all this other bullshit in it. Like, are limes real? Like, limes are supposedly one of those like man-made type fruits.
Yeah, there's a few vegetables just like that too.
Yeah, that's like, so it's like we try, but I mean,
you mean the cotton candy flavored apples aren't real?
The cotton candy flavored apples aren't real.
I thought she was about to say cotton candy sweet as gold. Oh shit, we just made a little change.
Okay, so we definitely pay attention more to what we put in our bodies now, because and I feel like once you get over that hump, it's like, all right, maybe I should stop eating.
But have you ever tried to go back though? Like
eat? You can't even eat it. Like, it's hard. Like, I could have like a pizza every now and then, but like to go and get some hot, like I used to knock back hot and spicy's like nothing. I used to get like $5 worth of hot and spicy.
That's no gain, no way.
Please, I do gain weight. But what I'm saying is, like, I can't do that now. I can't eat hot and spices now.
So on a drunk night, you ain't never like, oh shit.
On a drunk night, I eat my leftover grilled salmon and go to bed. No, I'm just playing.
Too rich.
Shut up.
Too rich right now.
No, but
yes.
What?
My leftover
What do I eat? No, I do eat like French fries. That's definitely something that's my pizza rolls. Lingered. That's French fries.
Up. You need to do better, because pizza rolls is way better than some fucking fries.
Are you fucking kidding? There's so many. There's waffle fries, steak fries. They have the string fries. You can even switch it up. I mean, with the what are those tater tots? I would consider those as fries. Curly fries. We got onion rings.
In the comments.
Okay, bubblegum over here.
In the
we got French fries,
seasoned fries, Cajun fries,
seasoned fries.
Bruh.
In the comments,
you can do the grilled shrimp fries.
The possibilities are endless with fries.
Guys, in the comments, please tell Stacey your favorite fries.
Oh,
I'm telling you, that would be the way to my heart. And dipping sauces? Please. French fries are
You need Jesus.
legit.
Like
Jesus loves fries too.
Hey, you know what? Dipping sauces though do make everything like way better than it normally is.
Plus the calories too.
Yeah, no, because that Chick-fil-A sauce, like the Chick-fil-A regular one, it's like 220 calories.
Don't tell me that.
Things.
Well, how dare you?
But the spicy sriracha is only 30 calories. You're welcome.
But yeah, so that's probably the one thing I can carry over. But a lot of that other stuff, like super greasy foods, it's hard to do.
Well, it depends where you grow up too, because like, well, I don't know if it matters over here, but I know there's some parts of the United States where, you know, babies get Mountain Dew in bottles. So I think
no.
Where are these people?
In the Appalachians?
No.
In the Appalachians. Fuck that.
Yeah, that's
There's
like
a kid that died from Mountain Dew, man.
Where?
Yeah, that shit is like poison.
It's nothing. It's like it's too
we
much
don't drink
caffeine.
soda in my house.
It's too much caffeine, so some kid died from it.
It's like,
oh my
it's like
gosh.
poison.
Yep.
All right, so how would we deal with confrontation
Differently now?
differently from our 20s to our 30s?
I definitely like consider my whole well-being and job and all that kind of shit.
Absolutely.
Like anytime something is like almost the thought of an issue, I'm like,
Yep.
nigga, I got a job. Like I automatically go to that thought. You know what I'm saying?
So how would you have dealt with it in your 20s? And we'll say early 20s because we're in our early 30s.
Do you have an example of a confrontation maybe you handled very poorly in your 20s?
And how you would have handled it in your 30s?
Do I have that? I've always been like pretty chill. Like most of the time I've always been pretty chill.
Even like even like confrontation and arguments and stuff in relationships.
I don't have arguments in my relationships. Most of the time
Not even
I
in your
don't.
early 20s.
Nope. I was never the guy to like get into arguments. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna say I'm wrong. Point my pit. If she wrong, I'm gonna tell her she wrong.
So you were just
And
the
if she
most
don't take
well-behaved 20-year-old ever.
Right.
No, I mean I've definitely had like issues where like okay, I'll give you this one. All right,
Give us something. Come on.
Yeah. So they have this area in Beaumont called Crockett Street, right? It's a lot of bars downtown, and I was talking to this chick, and she knew I was going out that night, right? So I'm out that night. I rode my motorcycle, and like I said, the same way we talked about, like you'll be on a date or something, and you're having a good conversation, in your phone, like all of a sudden it'd be like the person out of nowhere. It was the exact same situation, but it was in person. So it's like I'm going to the bike. It's about 2:00. I'm about to go back home, right? And this chick comes up that I know that I'm not trying to talk to, and we had a conversation, and she heard about it, and it was just a whole ordeal because of that. And I'm like, literally the only reason why she came to talk to me is because I was riding a motorcycle that night, and I know that, and I wasn't trying to deal with it, you know. And that was pretty much why I explained it to her, and then I let her argue with herself.
It sounds like you would have dealt with it the same in your 30s.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Jess?
I could say just from like one of my previous relationships that like I did not like if some I had a temper. Or not really a temper, just things like really like I didn't have patience for stuff anymore. So I might like just like yell or be very reckless with like my behavior. Maybe get into like an altercation. But I just
why little people always want to fight like a grown ass man? Y'all gotta stop that shit.
It's not like I'm trying to fight this grown ass man. It's just like, you know, other things went on. But now that I'm like, I honestly would not even put that much energy into anything that would make me feel that way. Right. Now. But that's only because I highly value my peace, like my
your mental space.
Yes, my mental everything.
Yeah, I think
so much right now.
That's big, especially like in the 30s realm or early 30s realm. It's like making because you have so many outside forces that you have to deal with anyway. Why start off on 9 and you know and 10 at the top? Right?
And like I have a perfect example. Like in one of my I think my girl's dad came over one day to pick up the girls. We were obviously no longer together, and he was doing something. I don't know what happened, but like we got into an argument, and I was like screaming at him, like full blown, like 10, just my voice broke and everything. And then I told him to get out, and later I was like, I never want to yell at anybody in my own space ever again. Like there is no reason why I should have to yell at you or anybody in my own house. And I was like, so if you're a person that compromises how I feel like emotionally to where I have to yell at you or scream at you, like you should not be in my house. You should not be anywhere near me. I shouldn't have to deal with you. And that was kind of like one of the things that I was like, oh, I just need to cut people out. Like that's how I don't yell at people in my own apartment. Like there's no reason.
Yeah.
So
that's big.
No,
and that took you like actually having to like sit back and like assess your current situation.
Yeah, and I mean he was a dick. Like he deserved me yelling at him, but I didn't deserve like doing that to myself because you know when you're angry,
and it flusters you and fucks up your day sometimes, and it's not even.
And being angry is like so much more effort than being happy. Like being actively just stewing on something, and I never want to feel that way ever.
Yeah, it's definitely a. Yeah.
What about you, Stacey? 20 and 30s, how do you handle things?
So, I don't know why this particular incident popped up in my brain, but I'd had a party one time for my sister's graduation, and at the end of the day, my neighbors came to my house a few days later and lied and said that one of my cousins, who's this, African-American male, tried to rob her white son while I was standing right there, which it wasn't true. He came home drunk. She came to my house, and I got really upset. This was a couple years ago.
He parked like on the side of the grass or something, right?
He was drunk, and we had a conversation with him. Everything was great. But I'm assuming he told them that because like he didn't want them to know that he came home drunk. It's a long story, but anyways, they came to my house. It was not true, and I completely went off of her, called her a cunt, like went off on her. And the difference in I still don't like the way I handled it. I don't. And I even apologized to her for the way I handled it, even though I didn't lie, which I definitely wouldn't have done in my 20s. But I didn't put my hands on her, and I would have did that in my 20s. But I didn't.
job.
Great.
Great.
Wait, you had a sound effect?
Yeah.
But some people don't have no goddamn head.
I got stolen.
So she missed it.
But yeah, so
Was that a surprise? You got sound effects.
Look how mad she is right
Like,
now.
I just want to hear it. Okay.
but yeah, I handled it as best as I could with the situation because had things escalated and she would have caught the police and you know what I mean, like all this stuff would have happened, it wouldn't have played out well, period. Right. But because yeah, and then if I would have put my hands on it, then the police would have got called and it would have got escalated anyways. But I didn't. I still, you know, tried to be cordial with her after they were my next door neighbors. They're not there anymore, but it was definitely a sensitive thing to deal with, just because, you know, that happens too often where it's like he just really came up with this lie to save himself from something which it could have gotten, you know, my family member in even more trouble. So I applaud me for not beating the shit out of her. So yeah. So what are some of the reasons how we drink and why we drink now? What's different about that from our 20s? I know in my 20s
I think like in the 20s you just drank to get fucked up.
right, and
like,
you could drink any kind of liquor, like anything pretty much goes.
Vodka.
Taka.
You don't even know about. See, that's how you know when people was
Vodka.
rich, right?
I remember one time.
Do you know Taka vodka?
Y'all
First?
feel me?
I don't
Y'all
know Taka
about
vodka.
Taka.
Was it cheap vodka?
Yeah,
Shot-
that's the
cheap
first thing
vodka.
people got back then. Yeah.
So gross.
It's horrible.
I don't know. What about like
it's a headache.
MD-2020?
Of course.
Okay, I don't know about Chaka vodka or whatever the fuck that.
Chaka.
Nobody use a CH at all.
Chaka.
What is it called?
Taka.
Taka vodka.
But you don't even say vodka though. You just say taka, and it's like
Oh, you get
people.
Taka?
Yeah, people know it's vodka.
So, what
I feel like, yeah, when you were young and stupid, like to be honest, I didn't really know about the rules of like drinking until about 5 or 6 years ago. And that
what
was
are
like,
the rules?
you shouldn't mix light and darks. You should make sure you have food. You should stop drinking at a certain point. Like,
Stop drinking.
you know,
should
just
drink
like,
water.
just, you know, the
That's my
common
problem.
rules, like the things you know now, like, oh, I shouldn't drink past 3 cups because I want to wake up tomorrow. But like, you know, stuff like that. I remember one time at a party, we ran out of alcohol, so we drank like 151 because that's all they had. Have you had 151?
No.
Hell yeah.
What's 151?
Disgusting.
Who are you?
It's like gasoline. It's
Sorry?
basically it's the stuff they pour on stuff to light it to make it like.
You drink gasoline?
No, it's like it's like an alcohol that
I'm
like
so
they
tired of
put on.
Stacey right now.
They put
You drunk gas? Oh
I'm
my
so
God.
confused.
151 is the stuff they like spray on like ice cream
Lighter
and stuff.
fluid.
It's not lighter fluid, it's alcohol, and it like makes it light on fire. But it's just nasty. It's just like
is it rubbing alcohol?
no, it's
Sweetheart,
literally it.
sweetheart, hold
Wait,
on, hold
actually,
on.
what is 151? Is that vodka?
So
Is it real alcohol?
Listen.
Yes.
150. There's Bacardi.
Yes, there you go.
151. Okay. The worst liquors are these: Bacardi 151.
Bacardi
Okay.
151.
You have what's called Diesel, which is another one that's super strong.
Okay.
And then there's it's the other one.
Their
that's-
Taka's in there.
Taka not gonna do you like Everclear.
Oh, I know what Everclear is.
Yeah, Everclear minus the boy 151. Like they're the same thing.
Okay.
So gross.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Everclear.
I drank a shot of that and then I chased it with water because I'm stupid. I was stupid.
You're not supposed to do
in
that.
my 20s. You should never chase any liquor with water.
Really?
It's not like
What?
no, don't chase
Because it doesn't do anything. But
yeah, like you might as well just be like enhancing the taste in your mouth. Like it's gross.
I think the difference between 20s and 30s in this aspect is you know that the shit's strong now. And for me, you drink it, goddammit, because you grown. And then you always have a water somewhere because you want to stay hydrated. Like,
Right.
because you got shit to do tomorrow. Like, used to be, you didn't care about what you had to do tomorrow.
Or it didn't matter.
Or you're like,
you know,
fuck.
you can call
You be
in.
like,
Or you're like
Okay,
me and you
I'm
have
not
kids
do
and you're
it.
like, man,
Yeah.
if I'm
or
drunk or
you say
hungover-
I'm not that drunk and then wake up hungover as fuck because I've done that. Like I'm not that drunk and then I have
Wait.
the like worst hangover.
Mind you, Stacy sweaty as shit. in the club.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Like I've been able to like the bounce back was different when you were younger.
Yeah.
Like when I was in my 20s, you could go hard. Like go hard.
Yeah, I almost died once.
Yeah, go hard. Go to sleep at 3-4 in the morning and still get up for an 8 o'clock class. You be tired, but you got now. I might not wake up.
You might wake up 2 days later.
I might wake
what
up
happened?
like, oh shit, what's that? Oh.
So do any of y'all drink when y'all are like depressed or like sad or?
I would definitely say you shouldn't because you know that like that's the worst time to do it.
It is.
But
I know.
that should be working.
Does it? I don't drink
know.
when I'm sad because I'm willing to do anything.
Well, and I purposely know too. Like I don't drink if I know I'm sad because alcohol is a depressant, so it's gonna make you more sad.
I don't know. Well, I guess I'm thinking about it in the case of where like it's something that you're anxious about, or it's something that, in other words, you're not sad yet, but it's bothering you,
right?
And you're thinking about it too hard. I'm not saying like go like have 10,000 drinks, but man, take a shot,
like 1,000,
or go out with friends and maybe have drinks.
Now now you drinking. I don't want you to drink so much as though, cause see, there's a point in time when you can be drinking with your friends, everything fun, but you still gotta go your ass home.
That's true.
So now it's gonna be a whole bunch of fun and games and shit, but that ride home, when you take a shower, when you lay in the bed, that shit gonna still be on your mind. You still need to think about it, right?
Yeah.
But you need to think about it from a common perspective.
And I think it's a little different now too. Like I feel like when we were younger, you would go and drink, but you would go to like a party or you go to the club. But now it's like, oh, I want
Let's
to
go have a glass of wine and go watch sad movies.
Yeah, on Monday or Tuesday. No, she made me do it yesterday, and that movie was sad, and I did cry, and I was like,
Where'd y'all go?
my house. For no apparent reason. She's like, you should watch it. I'm like, fine, let's watch it. And I was like, oh my
Killing
god,
the whole party and shit.
It wasn't a party. It was just us two at first. It was
Yes,
just like
all
laying
of
on
our
the couch.
kids.
It's like having a bad DJ and shit.
Yes. And I'm like,
But it was such a great movie.
it was. You should watch it, Chase.
What movie is it?
Someone Great.
It is. No,
I'm mad at the
yes.
title. I don't like depressing.
He wouldn't
shit.
like it. It's a
It's
girl
not
movie.
My life is depressing enough. I'm good.
No, it wasn't even
Please.
sad though. It's just like it was a very good depiction of like what happens in a relationship now and breaking up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
If I want a movie like that, it's one called "This Is Where I Leave You." That shit is.
Oh,
awesome.
that is a good movie
movie's
too.
so good.
That movie's
Yeah.
sad.
Ooh, this is where I leave you. Man, if you don't
Sad
watch it,
how though? Because it's like only certain types of sad.
for some reason, I love movies where the dude get fucked over and then he end up like finding his confidence. And I love that shit.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
It's like it's always like the underdog type movie. I'm that.
Well,
dude.
the woman usually is the underdog in the other movies. Do you
Exactly.
not like those?
Exactly.
That they're
'Cause
underdogs too.
women are always the underdog. Like, no, y'all got all the power.
Shut up. So, do you feel like when you had anxiety about something or anything like that, did you drink while you were in your 20s for those reasons?
I think when I was younger, I may have drank in the wrong mindset more, right? Plus, the other thing about it was, well, I don't even think we knew in our 20s. Because alcohol was so prevalent in your 20s. Like, you got college, well, for me, you got school, you got parties, you have way more friends around you. It's like now, I don't drink in public unless it's a get together or something like that. Like, because I don't just be going out by myself.
Right.
So it's different now.
Yeah. I honestly didn't drink much in my 20s. And I'm not even lying.
I don't believe that shit.
I'm not lying. I drank a lot in my teens.
Oh, wow. Well,
And then by the time I got to my 20s, like I was already a mom.
Hold on, let's do this. What's the difference between drinking in your teens versus
It's terrible. I don't recommend
Sneaking
it
alcohol.
to any of the.
sneaking
Here's the problem. Like my
a bottle of Jack?
So my grandmother and grandfather, like my grandmother was from Louisiana and my grandfather was from South Carolina. So they were like really, really like country, and they were under the assumption that when you give kids alcohol, it makes them go to sleep. Right. So you give.
Oh my gosh.
Now, mind you, I was the first grandchild, like, for the most part on both sides. I was the first grandchild. And so they would be like, oh, let's just give Stacy some beer and she will go to sleep. Right. So this is like when I was younger. Well, it my grandmother she kept Crown, and my grandfather kept beer. And so my grandfather, I would just ask him for a beer at like 9, and he would just let me drink a beer. My grandmother, I would sneak her Crown. So I was drinking earlier. So by the time I got to like 18, I stopped drinking altogether up until maybe the past few, like probably around the time I met you. Not saying that she's the reason why, but I'm saying like it was a darker time in my life around the time that I met Jessica, and then I was drinking that's when I started, kind of casually drinking at that time.
So disclaimer, it's not Jessica's fault.
No.
Disclaimer.
But she was your enabler.
No. If she was my enabler, all my friends were my enabler as well. Like I had more than one enabler. But so teens, I definitely don't recommend it, because I could have died a lot of times.
Yes. That's why there's definitely a
limit.
Yeah.
An age limit. So yeah, I definitely think that so in your teens, if you were drinking, it was cool. It was like, in other words, if you were able to somehow find alcohol, which you shouldn't, it was cool. And it was like, it's kind of like sneaky type shit, or you're getting to do something that the other kids don't get to do. Mm-hmm. Just like with any other substance that a kid's not supposed to do. So that's not cool. Right. In your 20s, it was more like, a party situation. Now,
see, I didn't have the party. I was a mom at 20, and so like I was really committed to that.
Yeah.
And I mean I still am, but I'm saying like I didn't go out. I didn't do a whole lot for myself.
Yeah.
I did a lot for the person I was with and my kid, and that was really it. Unless like the two of us, like not the guy that I was with at the time, like we would go out and you know what I mean, like go out and have drinks like that. But like it wasn't like what I do now.
Right. Yeah, so you're kind of you're doing a little backtrack, right? You're kinda,
yeah.
No, it's nothing wrong. Like my mom, I wish she would have did that a little bit after she raised us. We pretty much told her like, hey, like you need to go have fun,
right?
So it's good to do that. There's nothing wrong with it.
So how does your sleep patterns work now? Like, is that different?
I still try to keep it like I'm still fighting that, because I'm a night person. So with me being a night person, clearly I'm not a morning person. So it's like I'm trying.
I'm not a morning or a night person.
Yeah,
I'm a morning person, hardcore.
It's difficult. What the hell are you? A midday?
I'm a midday.
She's a midday. Take a nap. Wake up.
I can take a nap.
What kind of job do you? I wish I had that.
No, I mean like on the weekends. I don't take a nap during the week because I have to work. But sometimes I'll get off work and take a nap.
Like
and still be able to go to sleep at night?
A pre-sleep
No,
nap?
I can't. I like.
We take like 8 tabs of melatonin before we go to sleep. 5 milligrams each. All that stuff.
Zary, like when we go on vacation.
Do y'all both do this for real?
When
I do this.
When we go on vacation, and all my friends know this. When we go on vacation, like we have to set aside time for me a nap. Like I have to take a nap.
Y'all got too much going on.
Well, that's why me and Stacey are usually pretty good
Especially
traveling together, because like I like to take naps too. So it's like I remember we went on like both cruises. Everybody's out in the pool, blah,
and we're
blah.
like, it's nap time.
3 o'clock, we're like, oh man, we're gonna go back to our rooms for a minute. Sorry guys. And then like, oh, we're gonna go take a nap. Oh, me too. Okay, bye. We go take naps.
Yeah. When I went out with Courtney and Sierra a few times, like I would go take my little 2-hour nap. I'd wake up and they like made friends at the pool. They're like, oh, this is your friend, the one that takes naps. Like,
man, kid told on you.
Yeah, no.
I'm a morning person. My coworkers all find me extremely annoying. I used to be able to go to bed at like 3 in the morning, and I'd be like, oh, if I go to sleep at 3, I can wake up at 7. That's 4 hours of sleep. I'll be good. But now, if I try to do that now, I will crash and burn at 11 a.m. Like, I'll be like it just won't happen. Like, I need to get, and it's probably because I, like, obviously when you have kids it's different, because everybody tells you when you have kids, like, you're never sleeping past, 9 a.m. ever again in your life, which is so true, because even if I have the opportunity, I cannot sleep past 9 a.m. anymore. Like, I would, maybe 10 a.m., but like sleeping until 12 or 1 is like not a thing. That never happens.
Yeah, I never want to do that shit again. Like 12 or 1 type sleep. I used to do it all the time in my 20s. And my dad was so cool, he wouldn't even knock on the door.
Yeah.
Like, but now, no. I'm mad at myself. Like today I got up at 10:30. I was mad at that. But I didn't go to sleep till 4. So I did good. I was
4?
I was young last night. Yep.
Jeez,
4 a.m.
And didn't go nowhere. Like I was like watching movies and shit.
What?
Well, okay, if I have like time and I'm like Netflix binging something and I'm like just one more episode, like there are times where I pushed
hate
it to
that
like
too.
3 a.m. Because like,
I only do that on vacation.
Do y'all do just one more episode and then you watch that one
Yes.
and then you say, okay,
One more.
Okay, just
the first 30 minutes of this episode.
I'm just
And
gonna
then
get this one started.
Yeah.
yes, and then something good happens in the middle and you're like, no, let me just finish it, and
Some
then it's
shows
4
have-
a.m.
I hate shows with the best cliffhangers. Y'all fucking up my life.
So, what are the type of men, women you choose to date now versus the ones you chose to date in your 20s?
Oh Lord, we need like a Venn diagram for this.
Because it's definitely different.
It's different. I mean, from a women aspect, now it's like like from a physical standpoint, I've probably dated every body type that I would find attractive. So, in other words, I've dated every variation of what Chase deems to be fine, right? So now it's like, you can't just look at that now. You see what I'm saying? You can't just look at, oh, she fine, so now you actually look at the type of person they are, too. I mean, not that I didn't do it then, but now it's
Describe the perfect woman that you would have dated in your 20s, and then describe the perfect woman that you would date now. Like, I want to see the difference. Like all of it.
In my 20s, you definitely would. Okay, it'll be in a superficial, like nice body shape situation, beautiful hair, nice skin tone, of course pretty, to look at.
Where'd she work? Where would this woman work?
She work.
I want to know.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter. Okay.
Where was she employed?
Yeah,
Where was she employed?
in my 20s, it didn't matter if you where you worked. I mean, if you like, it'd be good that you had a job, but like either.
So she could not have a job too. She could live with her parents.
Yeah, she could live with her parents in my 20s. But I was still trying to see what she was about to do. Like I was still looking at, okay, you live with your parents. Like I was living with my parents' house 25, right? Anyway, long story short, when I left the house the last time, it was, I was living with my dad at 25. So you could do that, you know what I'm saying? But what are you doing next? Because I know what I'm doing next, right? So, and it depends on how, what realm you're dating in. Like, what conversations have y'all had? You know what I'm saying? Like, do y'all have is there an understanding here type situation?
Woman now. Chases the woman you seek now. Describe that lady.
So
listen, ladies, we're talking to you.
Don't forget to
If
slide
you
into
are
his
about to
DMs.
fit this description, you can
Leave
slide
my
in the
DMs.
DMs.
Slide on into his DM.
my DMs are going to be deactivated. Now, I mean, clearly, attraction still has to happen, right? But it's not as superficial as before. You have to care about your health. You have to like have some type of interest. You don't have to have an interest in going to the gym, but you still have to like take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because I take care of my. So in other words, you wouldn't understand me going to the gym as much as I do if you don't even think about it.
Yeah.
It'll definitely be an early conversation. Who you trying to look good for? That'll be so quick, right? So you got that. I would definitely say you got to have something going for yourself for sure. Because I worked my ass off. So it's like, it'll be kind of like an in vain situation if you not doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Or not even thinking about doing shit at this point. So, all those things apply. All those things apply. You don't have to cook. See, like the normal woman shit, I don't care about that.
You don't have to cook.
You don't have to be like...
But if she cooked, it'd be really awesome, right?
Yeah. I don't care. No, because see, a lot of guys, they got a lot of guys out here who do well for themselves, all this kind of stuff.
I get asked that so much.
And they get-
do you like to cook? And I'm like,
Exactly.
Just follow
Maybe.
recipes.
A woman can like grab a dude just because he can't do the small things for himself. He can't cook. He washing the whites and the colors in the same load.
I do that.
See, guys, you might want to watch out. But yeah,
wait.
Yeah, so shit like that, like the small things.
I'm just saying, nothing bad has happened yet.
It's good. Them white saying is white. It's good to be able to put this. Say, hey, these things are out. What else you got?
I get it. It's good.
Jess.
Super easy for me. Can I say? Well, I guess man in my 20s. Obviously, I would have to be attracted to him. I don't think I cared too much about like what they did at that point. Like as long as they had a job, obviously that was always important to me. Like have money, have a job. Maybe during my 20s, like I didn't necessarily care if you lived on your own or lived with your parents, as long as there was like a plan. I didn't think about that too much.
Oh, you had your own room.
Yes, had your own room, please. Yeah, just I think I was very superficial at that point. Like, I didn't care if you didn't have it all together, because in my head, like you could build on that or I could build on that or whatever. So that stuff didn't matter. So now I still care about the job, but my biggest thing about the job is as long as you are doing something that like you're passionate about, I don't mind. So I'm not saying like if you want to own a bar, be passionate about that. If you want to be a doctor, be a doctor. If you want to be the regional manager of Walmart's, be the regional managers of Walmart's, but just be passionate like about what you're doing. Right. But don't just be like a waiter at Red Robin's.
Your ass gonna be employed for a while.
Don't be.
That's what that is.
Don't just be like an oil changing person who's like, oh, I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. Like, no, I still care about like looks, I guess, ish, but
you do.
I do.
Yes.
Like,
I'm about to say stop.
No, because like I feel like
and you care about height too.
Oh, I definitely care about height, but like it's just. In my head, I just want to be able to like know that if I were to go spit on some guy in a bar, that you'd be able to handle my lightweight. So
someone under 6 foot could still probably handle your lightweight because you're like 3 feet tall. Okay, that's what I keep telling you.
Your lightweight, hella light.
Yeah, whatever. But still, just that. But the most important quality is, because I have kids too, is just the consistency. Like your whole life is consistent. Like you're not in and out of jobs, in and out of places to work. Like your life isn't crazy. So consistency, passion in what you do, and then like your purpose, like without a woman, like you already know what you're supposed to be doing. So like I don't affect you. I would just add. So like, and this is like very strict now because I can't afford to be dating losers anymore. Definitely doesn't work out anymore.
I feel like for me, one of the main differences, because I mean, it's kind of similar, right? Like looks, oh yes, in my 20s, I dealt with, whatever, gorgeous guys or whatever. But no.
Golfers.
No.
Golfers.
But I can say now the biggest difference would be how you handle me mentally. So in my 20s, I definitely had, the whole manipulation and, just not even respecting me and not even, appreciating the things that I do or, all that good stuff. But that's something that I definitely pay attention to, is just like, how do you deal with me and us being able to deal with each other? Because I can honestly say, like, there were times where when I was in long-term relationships back in my 20s where it was like they may have needed something mentally that I wasn't able to give them because I didn't care or I didn't think to do that, as opposed to like now if I'm with someone, or even if I'm talking to somebody and I feel like they're really going through something mentally, maybe I should either give them space or not, or talk to them about whatever the case may be. So communication is key, and I don't think that I had a lot of that in my 20s. Like I would just kind of deal with being disrespected and deal with being emotionally unstable all the time, and now that's definitely something I'm not gonna put up with. So.
I think space is okay. Let's put this into this one. How much, like when you say you're giving somebody space, is the space you provide now different than the space you did in your 20s? Does it make sense?
Yeah. So Yeah, I would say so, because my space, giving someone their space in my 20s, I still had an attitude about giving you your space. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I were like, I'm gonna give you your space, but I don't know why the fuck you need this space, but I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give you your motherfucking space, and I'm gonna have an attitude about it. Like, that's how I gave space in my 20s.
But I feel like that's how a lot of us gave space. But like, it's more stemming from, like, I feel like, like an insecurity.
Because you took it personally, even though it probably had nothing to do with you, you still took it personally.
Or it did.
But I'm just saying,
I'm not talking about you personally, right?
Right.
What I'm saying is, like, you know, when it comes to things like that, it definitely changes over time. But you would hope that a person grows from their 20s to 30s and kind of starts to have a self-awareness of them. So it's okay to be a person who's, you know, more active or more passionate about something, but understand that that's who you are. And if a person is sitting in needs space, they need to reassess. They need to actually think about what's happening. And if you say you can give them space, and then you text them an hour later or some shit like that, you know what I'm saying, with the same shit.
Yep.
How the fuck did I get a chance to process whatever you know the issue is?
So that would be it. That's a big difference, because I wouldn't take someone needing space.
Look how we growing spacey right now. Mm-hmm.
No, but yeah, that's for real. Because I'll never I won't forget it. Yeah, there's been a few times where I've taken the whole I need space to a whole nother level.
And then, like, the mental games too. Like, I hate, like, before I wouldn't mind, or I was like, oh, this is normal. You're supposed to play this weird mental game about who's calling who and this and that and all that kind of stuff. And now I'm like, if I want to call you, I'm going to call you. I don't care if I did it first, you did it first.
You're more sure of yourself now.
Oh yeah, I'm just like, if this isn't how you want to be, then this isn't gonna work. And the same thing with this, like, the space, you know, like, I feel like before I was definitely that person who was like, yeah, why do I have to give you space? What's going to happen? Are we breaking up? But we're doing this, right? You know. And but now
it intensifies the whole situation.
Well, yeah. Now I'm just like, oh, okay. You want a day or two? Like, we don't have to see each other for a week. That's fine. Like, we can meet up next weekend. Like,
and then we also have other things going on too. Right. You know what I mean? Like, life is happening.
Because most of the time, at this point, a relationship is extra. Like, it's extra until it's not. Right. So it's like it's on top of whatever. You know, you guys have kids. You guys have jobs. I have a job. I have a whole bunch of other things going on. The relationship, in other words, you're in your routine, right? Mm-hmm. So now you're going to enter something into your routine. You are more critical of what you enter into your routine.
Right.
Well, it also helps weed out the people who aren't going to conform well to your life. You know, like I feel like obviously you meet somebody, you try to see them as much as you can, maybe the first month or two, like, because you guys are dating. But then after that, it's like, okay, I should probably go back to how things are normally and see, you know, my normal schedule, not making extra time, all this thing. And then you see, you know, how does that other person deal with how your life actually is, and like vice versa. And I feel like before we did, like, well, at least I did a lot of like, oh, let me move all this around to accommodate this one day or this one person. And now I'm like, no, they need to accommodate me, or we need to accommodate each other. We need, and I find this out sooner.
It needs to be balanced.
Y'all need to accommodate each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that once again, that's communication. But yeah.
Yep. So.
Yeah. Oh man, we're having breakthroughs all over the podcast.
Oh my gosh!
Everybody to understand.
Somebody just come swoop Chase up because he's so intelligent now in the DMs.
I'm so upset you can't hear these sound effects.
What is it? Tell me what the effect is.
You're just gonna wait.
You have to wait till it drops.
No, I was gonna say, have you had this and we just didn't know? Because it's gonna like,
because it's on the videos.
Right. So it will be.
Dang it.
It's so sad.
So how'd you do it?
Are you okay?
How'd you do with finances? From 20s to 30s.
How'd you do with finances?
How are your finances right now? Tell us about that.
But from 20s to 30s. 20s.
Yeah, 20s was kind of shaky, right? Really and truly, 30s ain't really. I think, so 20s was shaky. I think in my 20s, you just spend money without a direction.
Yeah.
Right? But now, like, I think, like in my 30s, I've definitely, 30s and late 20s, I spent my money with direction. I've taken a lot of risks in my 30s and late 20s, But it's great to start seeing those things start to pay off or whatever. So.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening. What was in that watermelon?
I was just thinking about the sound effect the guy at the.
No, don't. No. Mm-mm. No.
But yes, I agree with you.
Wow.
No.
You see how they do you after you leave?
Yes.
So, yeah, I agree. But I actually had this really... Guys!
You remember how he did it?
I do, but we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about finances.
Sorry.
From 20s to 30s.
If you guys would just let me hear the sound effects, this wouldn't even be happening right now.
The fucked up part about it is you thought that's the sound effect I got going.
No, I just was thinking of sound effects, and I was like, that was funny.
I mean, you did a good job at that one. Right. I'm sorry. We're back to finances.
Yeah, we're back to finances. No, so I actually was really, really fearful of like being poor in my 20s, like to like an extent of I would like overpay all of my bills.
You did,
like, and I still kind of do it now, but like it was like like Comcast would be paid up for 6 months, and then I would just like keep paying it up to where like I never really had any extra money to spend on myself because I always paid so many months
Remember
of my
you told me
bills.
that one time you're like, no, I have extra money. I paid up my Lite bill. And I'm like, what?
Like
I don't ever do that.
You're rich as
No,
hell.
but like it was to the point where like I didn't have any extra money like to do anything for myself because it was like, okay, once JC's taken care of, all right, now I know that like my light bill's paid up for like 8 months and like everything is paid up for like months and months and months, and like it was really bad in my 20s. Like I would pay my rent up for like, if I had extra money, I would like pay my rent up for 3 months and then but I would never have any money to do anything else.
So misguided. Like,
But it's not misguided.
That's what I did.
no. It's great, but like the way that she paid this shit up is like, what if you had a house at that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
it was, instead of paying rent, she could have been putting
Yep.
into her principal of a home.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Like the light bill, all that stuff, that shit cool.
Right. Yep.
But like stuff like that, you had the proper mentality to be a homeowner, and then after that, you can like start building other shit.
Well, we should take a
I didn't know
poll.
this in my 20s.
Who here is the homeowner?
I think it's all of us.
All of us. Okay. So I'm just saying, like she did take that and she put it into like, you know, like
Eventually.
eventually.
No. I'm not saying that you did anything wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like it's good to have that mindset
Right.
and put it where it needs to go. Make the change.
Yeah, I was very fearful of like not having a place to live, and like it came up a lot of it was like residue from like my postpartum depression, because I felt like after I had JC, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna take care of a child. Like, this is impossible. What if I'm homeless? What if I'm this? What if I'm that? And it just like I just like let that manifest over into like all of my 20s. And
No, I mean I get it, like the same thing, like, but like I've like there's been times in my life like where when I lived with my mom, like we lived in a shelter, so like I like get how it is to feel like super poor. So like I don't know, like I do that too, or like I remember like when I had Sophie, I would always have like be putting like $700, $500, whatever money in the savings account, and it would drive me crazy. Like if my ex-husband would go and take any money out of it, I'm like, what if this happened and you just took that money and like, but you know, I didn't know what to do with that money. Like you're right, I probably could have bought a house or did something else, but you know, didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I definitely gambled. I
can't gamble.
No. Not
I was like,
not like that. Like, in other words, I don't have those type of responsibilities, so I'm able to do things differently. I can live a little bit further on the edge than you are, and I've done that. You know, but it's like I said, it's paid off in different ways. So
yeah, because I've had a kid all of my 20s, so like it was always about paying for Sophie or paying for, you know, the kids, making sure they have everything and doing job. But I'm actually really grateful for that, because I don't know if I would be as successful as I consider myself today without them, because all it did was just make me want to either make more, do all this more.
You had a stimulus to go further up.
Yeah, so that's definitely, I mean, now, obviously, like, just bought a house, so now I'm thinking like, okay, what's the next big thing? What am I gonna do with this? Don't spend money on this. Don't spend money on that because I need to get carpet or I need to get this, all that kind of stuff. So definitely change. I do like what Chase said about spending money with direction. I feel like now in my 30s, like I can pick the direction and how I want my money to go and where it is and all that kind of stuff. So
right.
Yeah.
So.
Are you okay?
My
I was
brain,
waiting for the sound effect. Sorry.
My brain stopped working. It's really quiet in here. It's
Quiet when nobody's talking.
Like,
all right. So, how do we view like our work, like working, our places of employment and things like that? Like, how do we view that in our 20s, as opposed to how we do now?
Well, I think in my 20s, it was more so. I just need to have extra money. Like if we talk about early 20s, it was more like, okay, I need a job. First, it was like I'm gonna work as much as I can to make money, right?
Yeah.
But older people, my parents, they're like, look, you don't need to be killing yourself right now,
Right.
Because you have greater things that you need to be worried about, right? So for a long time, I did try to do that. I've worked everywhere. I've worked literally. I've been a stocker. I've been an overnight stocker in college. I've been a butcher. I've been a dishwasher. I've been I've unloaded 18-wheelers. I've had all these jobs, whatever, right? Golf range supervisor. So I've had all these different positions, but back then it was just about having extra money and just a fun. I was trying to fun while I was in college.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
But now it's like, or I would say late 20s on up, it was more like, okay, benefits, growth opportunities, will I learn anything? How viable will I be there after this position if it does not work out? So
Yeah. It's probably, it was definitely different for us, because I stayed committed for the most part with wherever I was at. So I was at AT&T for 7 years. So all of my 20s, for the most part, I was at AT&T.
See, guys, you see that? She stays committed.
Yeah. So and the reason why I stayed there, of course, is because of, I was able to provide. I had benefits. I had all those things. But what I didn't have was a lot of time. And so now it's more so about working smart and not necessarily working harder, because I worked harder and I brought in a lot of money and all that good stuff. But like, I didn't really have a lot of time to spend with my son or to do things for myself. I didn't have a lot of that. So that's what became important to me in my late 20s, was to, still be able to make great money, but also have weekends off and have my nights available and be able to, make sure he gets home from school and I can cook dinner every day. Because even when I was working before, when I was at AT&T for the first 5 years, it was definitely like I was too tired to do anything. So my off days, I slept all day. When I got off early, like we shut it down early, go to bed. Like I was tired. So I think that once I got into where I am now, it's more so just about still making money, but like having the time to be there with my family and hang out with my friends, and that work-life balance became way more important, because if I die today, they're just gonna replace me in 2 weeks. So
yeah,
so I might as well, be able to enjoy life and make sure my son gets as many memories with me as possible. Because I don't think that with the first few years of his life when I was working, I don't think that he had very many memories of us.
Okay, hold on. So, what was his age range at that point?
When I was at AT&T?
Yeah.
From like 2 to 8 or 9.
Okay, I was about to say, if it was like 0 to 4, you good. Like,
no.
They're not gonna remember that shit anyway.
Well, no, but like, I feel like those are really important years even still, because even though they won't remember, I had this conversation with somebody the other day, like those are the years that your child like learns how to actually experience like love and closeness and like nurturing and all that stuff. And even though they won't remember that later, like when they're 8 and 9 and they're these lovely warm people, that's because of their age ranges of 0 to 5 that they don't remember, obviously.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so I think that's with working that became more important because I've always had benefits like from 20 from, you know what I mean, like benefits and the 401k and all of that.
I didn't have
I've always had all of that, but I didn't have the time. So
yeah, I agree for sure.
all right, so what would you tell the 20-year-old Jessica? What would you tell her?
So like, am I telling myself this like if I could go back?
Yep,
or-
if you can go back, what would you tell 20-year-old Jessica?
I would tell 20-year-old Jessica to two things. I would tell her to, like what you said earlier, work smarter, not harder. That was like, I feel like that's just something everybody does. Like I work with a lot of different people that I visit every day at different stores, and I just feel like, man, if y'all just took a second to examine like what you could do right now to give you more time, do something else in a different company, whatever, like you would have so much more time with your kids. You'd have, all this stuff. But we're not thinking about that. We're thinking about the money that we make right now, right this second. So yes, work smarter, not harder. And then just to start my dreams sooner. Like, I've always known kind of like what I wanted to be doing and all that stuff, but I've started at such a later part, like the later part of my 20s, that I'm obviously going to finish later than everybody else. But if I just would have just stuck with it when I was younger and just, battled it out, like I would be done already. So,
Right.
But at the same point, I'm also glad that it took longer because now my girls get to see all this hard work that I put in to do everything that I do for them, to do the things that I want to do, and hopefully they'll take that and they'll, transfer it into their lives. So, I would tell myself those things.
What would you tell 20-year-old Chase?
20-year-old Chase. Don't worry about none of the chicks you date in your 20s because
Yes.
you're not gonna be with them. So all those little arguments, like I was a kid. Whenever I have an argument or like I was heartbroken, I was definitely jamming like Jagged Edge and shit. Like I'm 45 or something.
Oh my God.
Jagged Edge was good.
Yeah,
then.
Jagged Edge was lit, but still,
They got you through the time.
He can't love you, boy. If you don't go read a book. But yeah, most definitely would have said that. Nothing in life is free. So I've definitely had like situations where somebody offered me something, or like they offered me like gas or something like that. Literally, that's what happened. Like, and it cost me to have to like go through college an extra year, stuff like that. So nothing's free in life. That's the main ones, and I agree with the whole like knowing your purpose early, or knowing what you want to do early, especially with like. For some reason, a lot of people in the South, it's harder for us to kind of like be purposeful. And I say that because we have everybody wants you to be like, they want you to either work you either a nurse, you know what I'm saying, a doctor. Well, I say you either a nurse, doctor, or you work at a refinery where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's more nurses and refinery workers, or you just work at Walmart. So, or like a service job or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to break out of it. So if I could go back and tell myself, hey, you want to do this, and you will be able to do this in 10 years. Yeah, it would have been great to start then.
Yeah. I would tell 20-year-old Stacy that you are going to be all right.
Yes.
Oh my
That's
God.
it. That's it.
Wax.
Because I didn't think I would be all right.
But I mean, that happens that's such a good one, because I feel like that happens all the time. Like even now, we're just like, how is this going to be over? How am I going to? But then the next day or a week later, you're like, oh, I remember what I was so upset about that week or two later. Like, so if you always just have that mentality of like, you're going to be okay, like you're going to get through it.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, like I feel like that's
all I would need to tell myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
What would I say? Like, don't.
So nobody can be like, "Hey, the winning lottery numbers are."
Oh
like,
shit! I mean, we're not saying we're trying to tell.
We're all gonna invest in
tell
Amazon.
the future. I wish I could have did that.
Amazon
And Apple. We would have did that.
I'm like, y'all too humble right now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Tripping.
well, that's all we have for today, guys.
Yes. So yeah, if we said anything great about your 20s and your 30s, or you have some great advice about your 20s and 30s, you should comment below.
Yeah.
You should also go listen on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Play,
Are we on Spotify?
Spotify. We are. On
I just honestly just like when I'm posting it on social media, I just start naming them, hoping we're there.
Yep, we're on all those. So you should like and subscribe, mostly on YouTube and everything else. And yeah, guns.
Sound effects. We want gun sound effects. Gun sound effects.
Guys.
Not even playing fair.
Hello, guys.
No.
How are you today?
What is this sexy music you're playing?
Hey, man,
Oh,
we
is there
got,
sexy
It's a
music?
song.
we got two ladies out here. They waiting on you right now, man.
I really like this song.
He planned this.
And he really,
He did plan this.
and it's really in your best interest to know, who you are in your 30s and the difference between you now and who you used to be, man. Stay sorry.
Oh, preach. Amen.
Stacey already knows
Amen.
that she's gonna be okay.
Loud.
Jessica Lola
Every time.
knew her purpose.
Yes. That's
So
how
it's very important that you know yours.
You're all I need.
Getting those DMs,
Bow, 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 bow.
getting those comments. They're waiting. They're waiting
are.
for you.
See, I'm not even gonna write words right.
What was that? Come on. One time.
I can't hear nothing, so I can't
Two
assist.
I bet I
times.
sound crazy.
Sounds like shit. Oh.
Oh my god. Okay.